Hello, this is the 18th lecture of the Semantic SEO course, and this will be the end of the fundamentals section. If you click through this link, we will be going to this specific content briefs article. And if you read these sections, you will realize that we are following especially these specific parts or the context hints. The benefits of hot water are based on anecdotal reports, and if you talk about health benefits, always go with this research studies and reports in the earliest point. And in this part, actually, we tell some reports feeling benefits from hot water drinking, especially first thing in the morning or right before the bath. So drinking hot water before bath or in the morning, it has been annotated here based on the researches. Here we talk about a specific type of diagram, and in this part, promotion of better digestion or help with the weight reduction, positive effects on the functioning on the central nervous system and blood circulation, or improved metabolism and help in the protecting the kidneys while diluting the waste materials in the blood. It is especially beneficial for the people suffering from heartburn or the acid reflux. And in this diagram, as you see, it's similar to the before. We have a headline directly text here, and we mark these specific organs, and we also directly tell where it is healthy to, and we explain the healthy effect there. And in this section, we give this specific range of the, let's say, the specific hot water definition, and I can tell that this is not directly a proper sentence structure in this area, but at the same time we will be defining it in the future sections as well. So the thing here is that at the beginning part, sometimes using actually the brand name or the brand approach, it will be, let's say, it will be a diversifying aspect for giving your expert opinion. That's why sometimes in this type of scientific articles, sometimes I use the brand name, or sometimes I use these type of pronouns to reflect that this is the expert source and this is the expert opinion. And in the future sections, we use especially parts that we can rank directly with specific type of questions, and you already remember what is the ideal temperature for drink water, or let's say what is the hot water range, etc. These type of questions are already asked inside our structure and the vector. Hotter than this can cause tissue damage. Staying hydrated is important regardless of the temperature of the water, but there is a sufficient evidence to support the health benefit of drinking hot water to make it worthwhile, low-cost practice at least some of the time. And in this part, we start to actually, let's say, mention the cultural sections or demographic areas as well. If you go to the benefits of the drinking hot water, you will realize that sentences that I have written here: hot water promotes better digestion, body detoxification is aided by hot water, blood circulation is aided by hot water, weight loss is aided by hot water. These are directly here, which means that the expert will need to be continuing from this area, which means I already have written this part. And while there is little scientific research into the benefits of the hot water to diet, there are varying degrees of agreement around these points by health and the wellness experts, as well as on the general benefits of water. If you look at here, you see the anchor text as part as well, and this is to do our root section. So you'll understand we are taking authority from cold water, we give it to the hot water. But if you look carefully here, we are not linking back to the cold water, because cold water section was easy to rank already. So which means the hot water one is more important. That's why it is longer. This is already explained, which means we are actually redirecting our link flow to the root as much as possible. And if it is not necessary, we don't link back. So always you don't have to use reciprocal links all the time as a general rule. Just try to calculate the page rank and authority that you are getting and flowing into the important parts to be able to be a topical authority. And hot water promotes better digestion, here we tell, and these are directly coming from this part. And here we start with a study directly. If you continue in this area too, we tell hot water aids body detoxification by raising body temperature to the cause sweating. If you look at the other, let's say, first sentence in this area, hot water is a vasodilator, meaning it expands blood vessels, reflexes the muscles, and positively impacts the circulation. And in this part, actually, circulation annotates the blood one more time. And since we talk about the blood vessels, which will be connected one more time to the blood circulation as well. And if you look at these specific visuals, it is always it always uses certain types of scientific, let's say, terms as much as possible, with certain types of, let's say, diagrams or the explanations too. The thing here is that whenever we explain these things for instance, like this. As a 2003 study found that switching from cold water to hot water promotes digestion. Since the cold water article is linking here, mentioning it together with the hot water is useful for overall relevance and completeness. It was entitled Water Included Thermogenesis and carried by the Michael Borchmann, I guess, from the Humboldt University in Germany. The study followed 14 healthy men and women and found that drinking half thousand milliliters of water before a meal can increase the metabolism by 30%. Basically, first we actually give the context of the research, and the result of the research we connect it back to the hot water context, which will be connected to the benefits of drinking hot water one more time. And here we give this specific graphic, especially for the change in energy levels. So my point here is that whatever you read here, you will always see actually these specific parts. If you look at here, for instance, in the A5 for acid reflux, we tell that to mention it. If you go to the A5 body detoxification, and if we read this part, if we use the reflux in this part, you will realize that it is there. And also it has been mentioned in this area too. If you go to the A7, you will see blood pressure. If you look my note one more time, mention for every section whether there is a myth or not. Drinking hot water can assist, relieve, or discomfort because of X or Y or Z. And that's why actually these sections are more detailed. As I say, in the cold water, it wasn't like that. But when it comes to hot water, as you see, we have expanded every section or subsection even further inside our main content as much as possible. And when it comes to the stress can be relieved by drinking hot water, for instance, one more time, we dive into the researches as much as possible. We give as much as possible details, and we even add further researches and the researches with certain types of results. If you go to this part one more time, like you can stay hydrated by drinking hot water. One more time, we are actually comparing the hydration effect of hot water to the other types of, let's say, hot drinks. It is also one of the important aspects to think about in the context of, let's say, hydration and benefits of a specific type of liquid, which is an entity class. So if we go slowly to our contextual border, like what are some misunderstandings about hot water, body detoxification, weight loss, or blood circulation, for instance, drinking hot water. For instance, if we read this section in a careful way, blood circulation is aided by hot water. There is no direct scientific backing for that. If you go back to our third section here, or it should be third, I believe. Yeah. So let's read it one more time. Even brief improvements in circulation can support better blood flow to muscle and assist in the health maintenance, from cardiovascular function to the muscle pain relief. This diagram illustrates how the expansion of blood vessels support better blood flow. There is limited scientific proof to substantiate the claim that the act of drinking hot water will have this effect. However, according to a review of 13 studies undertaken by the Department of the Nursing at Women's University of Korea entitled The Thermal Effect of Water, Immersion of the Health Outcomes, Immersion in Warm Water appears to improve blood flow in patients. Applying the same logic to the consumption of hot water is currently the only possible tension scientific support to the notion that drinking hot water may improve circulation. One more time, based on the research, we use the modality of the May, as we mentioned before. So basically, we give these things as the benefits, but inside the research sections, we actually explain that it's not that exactly certain. For instance, here we tell hot water is a vasodilator. Basically, here we actually connect all this validity to this concept. Then we actually explain it further. Then we give a certain type of research to prove it. But also we mention that there is not a direct research, which means that whatever the answer is, still we will be relevant and responsive and also accurate. And at the same time, if there is a consensus for this, or if there are questions or queries for this, or if there are other types of documents that mention this in either way or in all the ways, we will always be more relevant. And at the same time, we will be seen inside the consensus. Even if the consensus changes, we will actually be touching it directly in this area too. So that's why this contextual border is extremely important here to be able to rank higher. And in your content briefs, you will need to adjust these specific type of, let's say, nuances in the semantics. I believe right now, since we all talk with the generative AI, thanks to GPT systems and OpenAI, I believe thinking about these things will be easier because you will slowly see the potential of machines to generate text, understand text, infer information, extract information, and connect information to each other. And whenever you're able to talk to a machine, it's an opportunity for you. For people like me, since the logic in us work in this way, it's a little bit easier. But if you don't have that talent directly, naturally, let's say, and it doesn't have to be honest, because semantics requires linguistic capacity or understanding linguistic in a heavy and a really good way. And you have to love linguistics a lot. And everywhere in this room too, I have really good amount of philosophical books, to be honest. In my PDFs, I have like 10 gigabytes of books anyway. And you might not be like that, but still you have an advantage of talking to machine. If you talk to machine all the time, by measuring its capacity, you will be able to understand the linguistics and also logic and also the natural language processing, generating or inferring at the same time too. So when we ask the health risks of drinking hot water, one more time, the risks of drinking hot water include tissue damage. We already told this before, as you remember. We told that drinking hotter water than this degree creates these things. So this is the second time that actually we are giving it. As I say, our macro context area, the H1 area, this area is the general summary area of everything that we actually mentioned before. So if we come to this part one more time, the optimal drinking temperature for hot fluids is between this and that, according to the study. And for another study, we have some certain type of different degrees as well. If you come to the below part, you will see different types of studies and different types of, let's say, research purposes and the results. And here we see that risky question. Drinking hot water cannot cause miscarriage. There has been no scientific research showing this to be case. So we directly actually give it in a strong language as much as possible. Then we give a research one more time. What's the ideal temperature, which is coming from this part? The ideal water temperature for tasting flavors is this. The ideal water temperature for thirst quenching is something else. The ideal water temperature for rapid hydration, the ideal water temperature for feeling refreshed, the ideal water temperature for health, the ideal water temperature for weight loss, the ideal water temperature for hot drinks. So as you see, we have different type of ideal water temperatures for different types of purposes. And in every section, we have different types of organizations, researchers, or conversions between the units as well. What's the temperature for hot drinking water? By the way, these articles are written like 1 year ago, and you can check it. These things are not automated. Everything is manual here. So the thing is that, as I say before, even if you, since this is the last lecture, I keep it long. Even if you have the best possible automation possibility, if you understand linguistics and the semantics, and if you have enough patience, and if you love thinking, you will always have the natural advantages. So do not think that actually due to the AI, everything will be so late, or do not feel FOMO or other things. Most things that I am doing, they are coming from the articles like between 2007 and 2015. So just read all things too. Do not feel any FOMO. So you'll be okay. What's the temperature of hot drinking water, for instance, in this part? And we use the word drinking here, not as a predicate. And the temperature of hot drinking water should ideally between these and these. And here we have a different type of thing. I read the medicine does make a different claim here. And here actually it gives a certain types of citation for that purpose as well. What you can mix section, here we talk about garlic, honey, and lemon in water. We directly link to the lemon water as well. Maybe we can check them in the future, or other projects we can check together as well. One more time, we use this thing here because while creating the brief, I remember that this was a specific thing that has been searched in the context of hot water, but directly we didn't go there because it's a little bit alternate thing. So what's the best time to drink hot water, which is a different sub-context, which means micro context. And the best time to drink hot water is first thing in the morning, according to the experts. So then we give direct an expert example, another expert example as well. And there is a water drinking schedule here. The thing here is directly coming from the question format. That part is really important. And also, if you want to make your answer in a better way, we can tell first thing in the morning, which is good. But when we ask the question when, the morning is a not a time unit, but time annotation. If you're able to actually give certain types of timings. Sometimes it will be better to, for instance, minutes here is a duration measurement in terms of time, but still not a specific time. It will be helpful to be able to tell a little bit more specific things in these areas too. One more time, we ask a suggestive question, then we have a suggestive answer with a Schultz modality. And what kinds of water can you drink hot? You can drink all types of portable water hot. These include tap water, spring water, mineral water, reservoir osmosis, or many other types of water. Then we give the definition of the drinking or potable water one more time. What are reasons people prefer drinking hot water? And here we give all these specific reasons, and some of the reasons are coming from the benefits already. And one more time, we mentioned Chinese and Asian countries or Japanese or these things here, drinking warm water in the morning to heal, improve digestion, and reduce metabolic waste. If you are from India, namaste, and probably you already know these things, and I knew while creating the brief too, but I'm remembering. So the thing here is that, one more time, we have given as kinds of annotation, then we have processed this as well. And from Chinese medicine to the other types of alternative medicine methodologies, we explained them too at the end, because that section is not heavy inside our query semantics as much. So basically, this is the longest lecture in the fundamental section. We have examined topical maps, topical map related concepts, attribute filtration or content brief creation, and created content briefs has been examined. We checked the articles as well, and we checked the existing published articles too, and you have seen the results. And all these articles, they are taking clicks from Healthline, WebMD, Mayo Clinic, or other types of really authoritative, globally authoritative MYL niche websites in the English language without links. There are many other sources. In the coming future lectures, we will see different types of projects and different types of explanations or different types of concepts, and we will be doing many of these things from zero as well. But for fundamentals, I tried my best to keep the lectures short and also explanatory as much as possible. I hope you enjoyed it. In the future lectures and a possible outro video, we will be talking a little bit further, and from there we will continue our journey. Welcome to the end of beginning. Thank you.